So, who's got two thumbs, a receding hairline, and actually really loves Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare in lieu of its glaring flaws? Yeah. Now, there is a touch of nostalgic bias on this. This was actually one of the earliest Freddy films I did watch when I was younger because, and funny enough, it is actually the one that I would say it's safe for kids to watch because it's not as graphic, it's much more cartoony, a lot, and I would say it's a fun one to actually introduce your kids to Freddy too because it is incredibly silly. It is so silly when you've got this paragon of fear rolling out a bed of spikes like freaking Wile E. Coyote. That's the kind of movie that you're either on this bus or you're off the bus. And funny enough, a bus does come into play at the dead beginning of this movie. That's just... The movie doesn't lie to you about what it is. The only way it ever really deceives the audience is the fact that it is a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I almost said Friday the 13th. But we'll get to those. Yeah, it's not even remotely scary, but at the same time, though, the stuff that happens in here, particularly the stuff that Freddy does, is just so thoroughly bonkers. In a dream world, yeah, you would see all the crazy stuff, like, people being thrown into video games, or people, stretching out chalkboards to do... Now, I will say, Carlos's kill is actually a pretty damn good one, and one that is in keeping with Freddy's tendency to exploit a victim's fear and their deep-seated anxieties and using it to the fullest extent. And it's funny that this particular kill with the chalkboard never came up until this point. So, fair dues. And I will say a lot of the focal characters in it are still characters I was rooting for. It was interesting that freaking Yaphet Kotto's in this movie. I mean, he's kind of a class act, and here he is, and in, of all things, Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. I mean, this dude was in Aliens. He's a Bond villain. Here he is here, and actually still giving a committed performance with the utmost gravitas. It's just hilarious that Rachel Talalay, who had been working on all the Nightmare movies up to this point, she got to direct a movie for once, and this is what she brings to the table. And you know what, to her credit, this is distinctly her, particularly if you look at the work she did on Tank Girl. This really does feel like her style, and it's one of the rare times where a filmmaker's style actually does come out. So I have nothing but love for this one. I have way too much fun watching it. I always look forward to when I do binges, and this is the movie I watch. I have a great time, and I'm sorry, Johnny Depp getting clocked with a cast iron skillet is pretty funny.